no, that's a bad example.
But I mean, if you see something like this bad,
yes, who cares?
Because we didn't have any manners, we didn't have any. It was politically so off field against who we were, what we stood for later. It was just like kill. Like it was just horrible. But now I realize I can't hide it anymore because it's been being released on.
Everybody loves you for it.
Norwegian splatter amateur.
On Norwegian DVD. Amateur splatter, found footage analog horror from Norway.
So now at 79, I'm going to break through.
You don't have to burn churches anymore to be famous. Just throw a friend off a building. As long as it happened 30 years ago, past the statute of limitations.
Okay, next.
Yeah, the next thing to talk about. Remember to breathe, Smeagol. There are no borders between us, only frontiers to explore, no hinterlands to conquer, oceans are but a distant shore. Outstriders leap from frame, gutting pain from every loss. No trenches dug divide us, only thresholds yet to cross. Welcome one and all to Outstriders podcast, Autodidact University, for those who know nothing who want to know more. How you doing, Sebastian?
I'm very good.
Everything good? Yep. This is another special, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we are honoured by the presence of my dear friend, the hostess with the mostest, Morten Magnus. Welcome to Outstriders podcast.
Thank you. It's an honour to be here.
The honour is mostly on our side, it must be said. But this is episode 7, and so we didn't think we'd get this far, did we, Sebastian? I know you had your doubts, so did I. So
I'm very positive person. So
you are.
I'm optimistic. I'm gonna go anywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
Thank God for that.
In my mind, I'm like 100 episodes in the future.
Oh,
so
you are, aren't you?
I got my vision.
Yeah.
I got my daydreaming.
Yeah.
And you make it happen.
Yeah, I've got Eurovision, a tunnel vision perhaps, but you got your vision. And we have to have the balance, don't we?
Yeah.
And so, Morten, to start off with, speaking as men of science, as we are, although I do know something about your background and that, there are the unknown unknowns. So I did a bit of research, and I went online onto the InterWeb, as the kids call it, and Googled your name to find out more information. I was quite surprised by what I found. Apparently, you were born in 1944 and you once killed a baby elephant, although in self-defense. You don't resemble the photo either, but then who does? And you look really good for your age, which must be about 81. And so my obvious question here is, did little Dumbo, his tiny tusks, were they donated to a decent charity, some pachyderm sanctuary for victims of circus abuse? Or did they end up as minor keys on a grand piano? Your response?
I didn't get half of it, but I would say that I'm only 79.
Oh, right. So they still look damn good. But yeah, why couldn't I find anything?
Well, I was so, for so many years in growing up, I was so set on getting fame in some kind of way. So I was putting myself out there in all kinds of ways. Enough to consider myself at least a celebrity in Oslo, which, and I did become like a person who got a lot of coverage. But at one point, after I sort of got that need covered, and so did my boyfriend and my little group of people, because we were the only people sticking out and wanting to stick out. And now we're talking about the 90s, like early 90s. And then I got some more serious jobs within this and that, always within arts and that kind of stuff. But then I got some to earn some actual money. I got another serious job, which concerned children.
Yeah.
And then I also got called in because of some parents that were concerned because they had suddenly seen me, or the person I was back then, but in a crazy way at some internet article. But they called me in, and it was kind of a nasty story in the sense that I was like, what have you found on the internet? Yeah, you have to you come to the meeting tomorrow, and two parents are there wanting to take out their children because something about you being a whore at the internet.
Yeah.
And I was not like a fast ansatt or like a employer of such as I was a what do you call it?
A call-in.
But still, it was a smack in the face. I was young still, and I was doing a side job to get money, but it was a serious side job because it was with children.
Yeah,
and I mean, even though I was as crazy as fuck at the period, I was always like so serious with that little side job. Yeah, because that was not my art crazy stuff.
No.
But then
you could separate your art from yourself, but other people had more, or perhaps they used that. Yeah. But there's one of the ladies there jealous or something like that.
I didn't say one thing at the meeting because when I saw what it was like me in drag at a big newspaper. Yeah. One of the many I'd been in at that time in the 90s. Yeah. And this was 2006 maybe.
Yeah.
And I had so much still on the internet, even though they were prints, out. I got everything removed because I just left that meeting when I saw what it was. It was me being DJ Hormore in one of my many, things back in the underground Oslo.
Yeah.
And I got everything removed. I mean, like every single bit. And of course I regretted like that.
Because it was gone forever?
Because it was my whole, it was my artistry.
Yeah.
And of the later years where I've found back to my persona and like it's a missing piece.
Yeah.
Because it's stories about, it is my artistry.
Yeah.
Even that story, because that's what kind of artist I am.
Yeah.
And it was art. We were doing that back then as 19, 20 self wanting to expose ourselves.
Of course, and then you try.
So we were always doing something. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like a witch process, a witch trial process in a way. The Salem witch trials and that, and being confronted with your art that you've done when you were young. Damn, that must be for the younger generation now. It's everything's there, isn't it? It's like
you're pretty much aware of it. Like
you're much more aware than we could ever be.
Yeah,
I guess
we had to create our fun ourselves, and our kind of fun was make movies, be in the movies. We made. Make songs, even though we were not musicians, because we wanted to sing. We wanted to sing a song.
Who can sing?
Yeah. So how did they find out, or like have you been using your name, like your legal name everywhere? So we were in the media so much that it was like okay.
It was all out there. It was beyond only underground because we loved the press.
Yeah.
So we didn't really care if it was bad magazine or like a really cool magazine. It was like, okay, any press is good. Okay, press. But seeing it, of course, later, I realized that they were not really interested in the films we made or music we made. They were just interested in looking at us as very... Because it was Oslo in early
freaks.
92, yeah. And then it was like, okay,
like sensation, right?
They're androgynous, the boys look like girls, and they were like in the interview, they were many times sitting and especially the cool papers or the magazine were like almost sort of like. I don't know.
They were building on it as well to make it sensationalize it.
Like we were just sort of like just plastic.
Yeah.
And we loved the attention, but we did so many things.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, we were. 1 year back then, we did 4 movies, this and that, and we actually worked the shit out of ourselves. I don't understand how we did all that.
Yeah.
We were young.
Yeah. And it's like, counterculture, but who's counting? But no one thinks of the consequences at that age. So, I still have problems thinking of the consequences. So it's inconsequential.
And I've gone to the point where I take those consequences now.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends from that time, they have gone some few of them have started like normal job, like other things. But some have also projected and been really serious in the business.
Yeah.
Like my ex-boyfriend, Thomas, he's now doing like really high jobs within a field of fashion journalism and gone beyond that. He's running his own magazines.
Oh, right.
And giving out books. He lives in London and he doesn't really want... He's not like, don't mention me, but he's sort of that period of underground is more like, he can't really talk too much about that. Because it's not that he don't want to be honest, but it's like when you're to a certain level of recognition, you have to be careful. And he has gotten a lot of trouble for letting people too close to him.
Yeah.
And I am on the other side. I'm embracing the underground as I always have. A few years in the time I removed everything, I was trying to also be sort of a more serious and commercial part of the business. And then I'm saying is sort of working with high established film producers in Norway, and I won a prize for documentary making. And I was sort of like, okay, now Morten, now you can really make movies and maybe not hit the big time, but sort of like make a living out of a dream.
Because being taken seriously, it does open doors, doesn't it? The prestige of it does count. I mean, as the world's greatest underachiever, I've never attained any level where I have to worry about that kind of thing yet.
Yeah.
You never know. Touch wood.
But the movie I made that won me the prizes and was sold into 7-8 countries. Or it was a big deal, but it was still my graduation film from the Film Academy.
Yeah.
And then they owned the rights. I got the trophy, all that. I got the Oscar, but they got the money.
Yeah, and the hard reality of Tinseltown.
And then I got jobs based on this afterwards. Yeah. And you want that, right?
Yes, yes.
But those were wanting me to do the exact same things. Like, hey, we got this idea. Can you do the same thing, like rough and sort of like gritty, underground? And then it would come with the most awkward people, like this artist, she's a singer, and she wants to be sort of like your edgy style, edgy. Yeah. And can you film her like you filmed that movie?
Yeah.
And that movie was the movie I won, the prize for. But that was the artists. I filmed a portrait of some artists, a couple, a girl and a boy, and they were so fucking unique.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
So it worked because of the subject material
and how I approached them as a friend.
Yeah.
Because I did have a film crew around me, but most of the material a lot of it ended up being my material because we had a wonderful photographer.
Yeah.
And we used a lot of his shots, but I dared also to wake them up in the morning, like and be very, and they were very private.
Oh, so
people.
You were kind of invasive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd watch them for hours and then you'd wake up and you'd be standing there kind of thing. How long have you been standing there? A while.
But that's another thing. That won the honorary prize at Grimstad, like juryens ærespris, which is...
That's one of the biggest film festivals in Norway, isn't it?
And the prize is pretty much the biggest. I didn't really know that at the time because I didn't even send in the film. That's me in a nutshell. The school did it.
Good for them.
And they scored me higher after I won the prize because it wasn't an A score. It was my exam film.
Yeah, but then of course what teacher grading you knows better than Grimstad Film Academy of people who know what they're doing.
I tried for a follow-up on a serious level as well, and making a documentary about my dying father, which was a serious topic, I would say.
Yeah.
But it was his sickness, and then I had to stop because I realized that if it's going to be good, he has to fall down now with his Parkinson, living alone, and then I have to make something different. I have to then film him and not run and help him at once. I have to sort of, if it's going to be the way I want. Because that was the reality I saw from his eyes.
So if he's like lost, wandering in the woods, you're not allowed. You've got like a whole film crew around, but no one's allowed to help you. You're dying of survival, getting attacked by wolves or
I started the filming, and I had to leave the camera and help him because it was too close.
Yeah.
So that's why I left film. No, but I left doing. Then I've sort of I've done documentaries, And then I started music videos. And then I filmed, firstly, the bands that I knew, and I knew a lot of bands and a lot of cool bands. And the coolest ones, I thought, I said, okay, I'll do the video. And then I didn't get much in the beginning, but then it also started rolling. And I did it so cheap, and I did it that sort of way they liked about my documentary style. Very gritty, monitor.
Well, that doesn't cost as much, does it? Like doing things in an analog way without the post-production.
Handheld camera or whatever.
The effects, where's the casting department, you know? Yeah.
And some of them were excellent, and I got reviews in like suddenly cool places I've looked up to before, and which I was so honored to be recognized from. But then you are at the point where that doesn't matter anymore, you know, like the exposure of it.
Yeah.
And just when I was taking off there with filming my childhood icon from Bananarama and Shakespeare's Sister, which I got to get to know, and of course when you get to know somebody like that, you're not a fan in that way anymore. No, otherwise you would.
All familiarity does breed contempt.
Yeah. So that was interesting, and she was, she was the most interesting person I've actually met artist-wise.
Yeah.
Because I've looked up to her in a way, and then you become friends, but then you also continue working. And she was one thing is to be a good friend, because she wasn't a close friend. But she had this thing she taught me, like who once thought I was an actor. Of course, I mean I can play a good role. So can you. So can anybody, I think. But to be an actor means more. It means to have a button. And she was an artist. She was a singer, of course. But she still had that button that could be at the stage. Yeah. You know, like the camera is on.
Yeah. And that the instant magnetism,
without being too
without
now, sort of like
seemingly not being self-aware, but
switch
being
a button and then you're just
yeah. It's like me just walking upstairs. You know, it's like I get a quiver at my level. Yeah.
Now you call it something else, right? You get not a whiplash, but sort of like an
aura.
Yeah, you could sort of like go in and say, I want to look 20 years younger and have big eyes and.
Yeah. Well, they can Photoshop anything these days and that, but there is you do see the difference. I bet, you know, when
if I pay you extra, can you Photoshop this?
Yeah, and then
make me look like I'm 20 again.
or else, but it will be fake, you know. So there's something
because you said I was 79. That's right.
Yeah. I did, didn't I? Well, that was wrong. Of course,
it was because I don't have a lot of things at the internet.
Yeah,
because I've heard that's the new thing, right?
You got nothing against baby elephants either. I mean, who in their right mind has anything against pachyderm rights?
Especially not elephants.
But that's, you know, there's. I suppose I don't know if you've done anything particular that you think you might regret in a few years' time, but you know, the younger generation, they are much more self-aware. They have to be about. So I'm not saying you're a TikToker teeny kid or anything like that, of course, but the
nothing wrong with that. For being a TikToker?
No. Nothing wrong with it. TikTok. Time goes on, and but being having the aware. Are you aware? When you're sort of about things that you post online and stuff like that?
Not from the beginning, but my Facebook.
Yeah.
I started the page when I was like 15, I guess. So it has. We had it more like you've been in some group of friends, right? And it's similar to when you're aware of the gossip.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be the topic for the gossip. So
right. Yeah.
So you're free in your group, and you're abiding by the rules of the group.
Yeah.
You're not aware of the long-term consequences. Like, I had some pictures from parties, nothing like crazy or just drunk and just maybe lying on the ground or like stupid shit.
Yeah. Some silly dance or something, but it's more innocent stuff.
Yeah.
But,
in this way, and we took it. So I guess I'm early generation of internet and social media in this way. Nowadays, I think like children are much more aware.
Yeah, they have to be. And let this be a lesson for all you kids out there who don't think you're going to live past the age of 30, and if you do, who cares? But I think there's also something in the reason Chinese authorities are having so much trouble following everyone. It's just there's too many. It's like a herd of zebras. You know, the flock. There's safety in numbers, and there's so much information out there now that, and there's so much crazy shit out there. So it's like, who cares?
Who cares?
And you were showing me. I didn't know what's her name. Martina Big. And I was quite taken aback.
You didn't recognize me, right?
No, I don't.
That's how big of an artist I am. But anyways, like you were taking the conversation
you
from
have slimmed.
Well, we were talking about elephants, right? And now we're on to zebras.
Yeah.
And
we're animal lovers.
We are animal lovers, consensual.
I've been an animal all my life, trying to be.
What's your totem animal? Have you found out what your totem animal is?
Probably some kind of cat.
Right.
Wannabe. Because cats are kind of like, they like me, but they're sort of like, oh, there he is again.
Yeah.
And they're sort of, some of them are because, oh, now he's going to sing to us and be this baby voice. But I cannot have a cat because then I would be that all
really
the time.
Sweet and cuddly,
because I cannot
but he'll
help
eat
it.
you if you die.
This baby voice goes on when I'm alone with them, and then I can do some kind of like, maybe I shouldn't, because I would be so fucking caught up in this. Yeah, I need to live myself.
Yeah.
And I'm an animal lover, so I would say rescue them from me, in the sense of I can take care of them when my friends are away, like children,
Yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm totally dependable, but to have my own child or to have my own animals, never.
Yeah.
And then in that sense, I think that I've done a job for the new generation, because I meet them often in both as an artist and seeing being connected with creative forces in Oslo and around Europe. It's a privilege to be connected with a new generation, and see that they are as wild as we were, but in a different way. It's like if I'd seen that girl and that guy that now are 22 and 28 maybe, or 18. Back in my days, they would be this.
They would last 5 minutes in the 80s.
They would be like me, like trying drugs, being like wild, wanting to be in pictures. Like, what kind of magazine is it anyway? Like a porn, okay, or like. We didn't care.
Yeah.
We were like, oh shit, this is an X-ray. How did it end up here?
Yeah, I mean, we did put ourselves...
as long as we looked good in the pictures.
Exactly.
I mean, we had to see the pictures first.
Yeah, in the Kodak Instagram, not Instagram, instant Polaroid stuff and that. And it was a few pictures lying around. It wasn't disseminated globally.
No.
You know, it didn't come into some data bank to be used against you later on.
But people now seem to be more concerned about,
this image.
No, I think they're just wonderful in the sense that they can look and be wild or whatever.
Yeah.
You want. Now I'm trying to see wild as a positive thing. Like
Yeah.
they can be like free and be as weird as shit when it comes to who they are and how they present themselves visually. But the search for like to be splattered anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like I've met people now that like I'm sort of I look at their social media
Yeah.
and I'm thinking like it's not updated in 2 years and they're like 24 and they're so cool and what is this? And then I realized that they have another some of them have another side, which is sort of the professional.
They got another. They got an account on TikTok.
Yeah.
They've gone over to TikTok from
and it's
phases
nothing
of
private,
Facebook.
you know.
Right? Yeah.
But then I've always been intertwining, you know, like my artistry with things that can be private, seen, you know.
You have to guard yourself. I mean, if you have nothing at all to hide, then I'm immediately suspicious. You know, like the famous Norwegian author Knuckle. I mean, he'd write like everything about himself and that. And I was thinking,
how much do you want to read?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what a fucking boring life. If I could write half the shit, you know, without having to kill us all. Don't worry, they won't take you alive, kind of vibe, you know. So it's you're walking through a minefield in certain respects, and you don't want to expose other people to your own screw ups.
And I think the guys that I thought were kind of tough, not especially attracted to you, but that were the cool guys and would probably maybe beat my ass up back then. They are the ones coming and giving me a compliment now that I don't even look that special, or if I have some kind of cool jacket on or something, they would be like, and it's happened many times because I do like to dress sometimes.
You are known as quite flamboyant at times. Speaking as a fashion dyslexic myself,
after
I just
40,
need a loincloth
that's all.
and I'm happy.
But that's cool because that means not that I am so cool, but they are open-minded to see things that kind of group of. You're a cool guy and you're like a group of guys and you're approaching me as this like, hey, it's a cool jacket. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to like you being nice. You're supposed to be like.
I'm not sure if I've ever said that to anybody. If you said that to someone in my village, you know, you'd be hounded out. You know, you'd be beaten up, burnt as a witch.
But the new generation,
They are more
because we did
relaxed.
our stuff showing ourselves because also there was janteloven so much stronger back then, and I mean,
you know, there's the Norwegian thing. You know, you're not better than anybody. You're working class peasant. Stay at your status, your level.
Practical socialism.
Well, oppressive socialism. You know,
and just we were proof that just being like splattered all over the news and I mean news, for God's sake. We did great stuff, but it wasn't big news, but it was, you know, entertaining.
But that was your Instagram.
But we were
that was Instagram of the time.
That's right. It was.
And also it was like it was so disconnected from your personal life. So there was a space for your fantasy and
reality TV haven't even started.
So if you think about it, now you have Instagram in your hand, right? And everybody can do it. But to get into newspaper, you really had to go for it, right?
Yes. So it was like that was kind of the prize.
Yes.
I was even figured in a double-page spread in a fashion article. I mean, what were they thinking?
Are we going to compete now on who's most famous in all newspapers?
I'm just saying how bizarre it was.
And also like it was kind of the unknown of it. You know,
Yeah.
like you had the fantasy, like, oh, I would like to be in the newspaper, but you had no idea like how it actually works,
how
right?
they were going to use it, and that, you know, we
So
just
you just
turned
went
up,
for it.
and no conscious decisions were made.
Yeah.
I
Very
suppose
positive.
And
very
you
positive.
couldn't make a conscious decision
no,
because
we weren't allowed.
you didn't own any, you know,
Yeah.
any resources to have a say in it.
Yeah, we could threaten them. I mean, my guitarist, after a bad review back in Bergen, he did turn up at their editorial place with a massive knife and asked to see a certain journalist. But so you had to turn up and be there.
Yeah,
You couldn't just, you know, social media for us, there's like with stone tools chiseling out, you know, nasty messages pretending to be from someone else.
Yeah,
it was
but
at that primitive level.
It sounds like I'm farting because I'm putting this soda up.
Yeah, the wind among the breeze. But if we're looking at things, you know, to regret, I mean, do you think it's a problem that young people nowadays, they can't sort of go straight in that innocent, we were so naive, innocent way and make mistakes?
Yeah.
I mean, guys and girls, you know, it's like there is a sort of a more thing towards perfection, much more diversity. You can pick and choose. It'd be 10 times more expressions of yourself. But if you do make a certain faux pas, I mean, thank God most of my worst mistakes haven't been recorded. But they're in here.
All of mine.
They're in here. They'll never leave.
Yeah, well.
Enduring images. But so I'm just thinking,
We were doing
I'm just
that.
glad I didn't do any softcore porno flicks. You know,
Didn't you?
Madonna, her feet were huge in the porno flick she did. Sylvester Stallone, when he was young and
You've
alone.
been framed.
Yeah, well, they were framed in an unflattering light. I mean, the cinematography.
She was a dancer. Madonna was a
Yeah.
dancer.
Yeah.
Stallone
Yeah, she had
hadn't.
muscular feet.
He probably had a tiny, tiny dick. He wasn't in porn.
Yes, he was.
maybe like a sleazy movie.
Well, no. Well, I think
Nothing like In and Out porn.
Well, not
like,
that I've seen that one, of course, but from what I've read in journals.
you mean
series,
like amateur porn?
Well, it did look pretty amateurish. I don't think they had a proper script. And
do we
the
really
lighting,
wanna-
they should have fired the lighting guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plot doesn't make sense here, Sly. I mean, come on. That's why he started writing his own. And then we
This
got
is not
Rocky.
for the HD generation, you know, like who
No.
gets amateur.
It's the analog.
Maybe
Yeah.
he just wanted to code himself on camera while he was still young and.
It was not
he was
porn.
a
It was.
starving artist, you know. He just wanted to make it. He
I
had
think
no
it was
shame.
Dogma. It was early Dogma film. It was not porn. It was probably like art cinema. Yeah.
Yeah, a day in the life
And
of an unemployed actor.
You see, like, you can do mistakes, and everybody will basically remember you for the best things you did. So he wrote the Rocky. He did like how many there is of these movies? Like
yeah,
6.
First Blood
And there we go.
Stuff. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Eyes of the Tiger.
Yeah, but you know,
Everybody loves him for it.
yeah.
Tram-ta-da-da.
But if he's ever at a party, you know, he always risks someone sort of putting on his old porno flick I mean, Madonna, I mean, no one can recognise her nowadays, so she's going incognito all the time behind a veil of silicone and that.
Yeah, but let her do that.
Absolutely, I've got nothing against that. Even
She has done
what's
enough
her name, the big lady.
good thing. It's like, why
Yeah.
can't she be a granny who wants to look 20? Why?
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
she
like,
does
there's
look more
plenty of
like-
men doing the same thing, and
Oh
they're
yeah, for sure, but
being-
but she's not aging gracefully.
Yeah, no.
Those wrinkles are only there because the
But
silicone implants have slipped.
what would the same media say if she did? They would say probably, "Oh my God, this is a wasted cost. This is like she looks really old now."
Well, they would, but you know,
They're always
it's-
nasty. I mean, even I know that, who loved being the center of media or whatever.
Yeah, sure. But,
When I was
but I
pretty
think that's
enough.
part of the pressure that she's felt. The quest for eternal youth,
Mm.
because you know, for women especially in that industry, you have to, you can't now it's different. It's got a lot better. You have a lot of actresses who, in their older years, get decent parts. But for a while, after an actress turned, 40, going on 35 or whatever.
79.
Yeah, but there were no roles.
That's horrible.
Yes,
Yeah,
and but if you think about it, like the industry grow like a lot, right?
Yeah.
So and because like if you think about it, we went to like information age, and basically the image and the video, that's the way we communicate nowadays. So nobody's writing letters anymore. Everybody is just send me a voice message or text me or let's FaceTime.
Yeah.
So this is the way we do it right now. So in a sense, like the video stuff got democratized.
Yeah.
So everybody's doing it. So the level and the quality of this type of communication increased. So the whole society changed their, in a sense, values. And we always have to, this is gradual, this is evolving, and sometimes we don't realize that the environment like dramatically changed.
Yeah, but does the quality improve? I mean, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but there's some brilliant words. People in the late 18th century, they wrote letters all the time.
You can paint a picture by words.
Yes,
that's what we're doing with rap song, rap lyrics.
Yeah,
but those screens, I mean,
poetry.
Nowadays, like internet, has it made people, as at least I thought in the back of my head, more cold or more hard? I think the opposite, because as I said, the new generation I've experienced, the young people now that I've seen, and that's been in different environments and professions or whatever, crowds, they seem to be softer, and it's not that they're better than past generations, but they have something unique that I didn't expect, I think.
Yeah.
I think that we were maybe harder in the way that we were like allowed to climb trees and fall down and just be testing drugs or whatever, just dancing to the new styles, trying them out, like techno and this and that.
And that was under supervision.
Yeah, some of this is good, but some of it is also like, okay, we tested it out for you kids, and now you know what's good and what's not. So in a way, we've done
side effects.
We've all done our parts.
Yeah,
that we have to be. There's so much negativity these days, as we all know, and I think that it's sort of good to focus on the good that's becoming better, because
Positive
it's the future. Yeah.
And
I agree with you, like that. This like new generations, we are much more insightful. And if you like, I observe this, like every generation hates the generation that is directly before them.
You blame it all on us.
Yeah. Always the one step, and like
add it to the scars.
The second or the third, they're fine. They're fine.
Just wait.
We have no direct experience with them, so they're fine. We want to be a little bit like them, but definitely not like you. Just
Yeah, I remember thinking, what's the point of old people? So, I don't want to hear about the war again. Oh, shut up with all your life story experiences. They mean nothing to me.
I always loved stories from my grandfather or from old people. When I was a kid, I always loved to hear like stories. That was my thing, definitely.
The only thing, like in the too much information age, there is the knowledge does not equate to wisdom.
Yes,
always. So that's my 2 cents from an old person. But
yes,
so there is that the life experience with stuff, and I mean things do have consequences. I'm finally beginning to learn, and but I'm a late bloomer, blooming late. So
some of the worst things I've done was actually in front of camera. I mean, like, and now I'm talking about starring in like splatter films when I was 15.
What was the name of that film you made, mate?
Horrible. That's something I've actually been like not having on my resume until I realized it's getting re-released on DVD.
Yeah, I sort of
not in Norway, in the States.
I understood more. You know, the when you made a film called Make Up, Kill Down.
Oh, that one I made and stand for, which is me filming all the beautiful people in Oslo when that was like my world.
Yeah.
And some of them,
you killed them all. You made them up and you killed them all. It was in different fascinating ways.
I styled them.
They all wanted to be in the film because it was like an in thing.
Yeah,
and now they all regret it.
It turned out to be a 3.5 horror movie.
3.5 hours.
The real horror was to sit through it, I think. But everyone was killed. It was a model school. Yeah. And actually, a lot of the people in it did amount to either commercial success. Some would kill me if I mentioned them, so I won't. But some became editors of Morgenbladet, serious, you know.
Yeah. We'll save that bit for Patreon.
Yeah. So it was like 13 episodes of...
and what was my role?
Make Up, Kill Down.
Yeah. And we were...
Now you should shoot like second season.
No.
Like 35 years after, I don't know.
You know, the real horror is 30 years later, and you get sort of a video clip on your email.
You send them.
And you say, right, I want $1 million in Bitcoin.
I'm not going to threaten anybody.
This is going viral.
I'm not going to say what I'm going to do.
Famous now.
Next year is the anniversary, so
it'll ruin your legacy.
It will be a release.
Yeah.
And it will not make anyone like... I'm not going to make friends of mine back then ashamed because they now have families.
If they can't laugh at themselves.
Because I was saying that, hey, I made a film. This is how stupid I was.
Yeah.
But no,
and you too.
No, but I was forcing them like, okay, if you're going to be in the movie, I have to style you, and I styled everyone really ugly because they were really beautiful.
They got loads of makeup on. No one can recognise them.
You know where it was?
Where?
It was in Brugata.
Right, in Oslo, yeah.
At the worst, it's like over like Teddy's soft bar. It's like the ugly drug district. We were at Penthouse. And we were young and beautiful, so we were like, we can make up and look nasty because that was exotic.
That's how you thought that the lower classes looked like.
I made them up to look like me now.
It's the jet set going slumming.
And I killed them all, and as I got more friends and more, then they got to be in the movie as well.
Yeah.
So I got to kill them, and they were...
You got to kill them.
Well...
you got the dark side there.
No, I didn't really kill them.
Dream.
I filmed it.
Yeah.
I got this Hilde. Hilde, which is a writer from Eastfolk.
I've been on stage with her. She's really cool. Yeah,
she's a famous writer.
Yeah.
Now,
So Hilde who we're not saying. Yeah,
all because of me.
That was the start of her career.
She's a beautiful one.
Take
because
that, Madonna.
She's like a serious professional, a writer, and she's really giving out all these books. But she looks back and she's like, "Oh, Morten, I have you on my resume."
Yeah. How'd you kill Hilde?
Oh, she was an Icelandic, like she was the killer.
She was the perpetrator.
That's
because she looked like a child. She still does.
The
She's
innocent, so the person you least expect to be the serial killer.
It's the 12-year-old girl that's not really a part of the modeling school. She was Icelandic, so she just talked in Icelandic.
Careful with that chainsaw, kid. You might harm yourself.
So she could say whatever she wanted.
Exactly.
And people were killed at the top of the roof.
Yeah.
We were crazy.
Yeah.
I was crazy because I was in charge. This is how much
no stunt doubles. It's like, go on, throw yourself off the building, but set light to yourself first and smash through that 7th-story window.
But that was after Oslo Terror.
Yeah.
Which is horrible because that was a movie that you're 15 and splatter films are
Splatter-punk, yeah.
they're forbidden in Norway. We had censorship.
Well, there was,
Yeah.
the VHS
So-
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were
We had to
trading.
make our own movies.
Yeah, that was my drug at least. It was like being like trying. I had to be criminal because I had to buy illegal copies from
Yeah.
other like. Hey,
same
you got
here.
any horror movies?
And
Splatter
then like the
movies?
big movies, they were all these ones. I mean, every horror movie was a snuff movie. You know,
Norway
with, like,
was
real death.
horrible. Yeah, but anyway, we made a movie, and
Was it thanks to these like jantelov and stuff
It's
like that?
to the censorship and the piety that was in Norway at the time. You know, it was progressive, but it was kind of like a bit of a nanny state.
Yeah.
They were.
I have a still like feeling like that. You forbid
A lot
like
of
so
people
many
do.
dogs, like beautiful breeds, and like you can't have Czechoslovak involved or Dogo
Skateboarding
Argentino.
was banned in Norway. You know,
Yes.
Life of Brian, Saudi Arabia, and Norway.
So
were the
they
two countries that
try to
banned
make
Life
it
of Brian.
so safe, you know, like
Yeah. They,
but I actually think they should forbid that movie to be released.
what,
on the-
Life of Brian?
No,
It's an
I'm
institution.
going like
Snuff movies.
No, I'm talking against myself because
Oslo Horror.
Oh, your films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is not my film. This is a movie that I made.
You made this
I was in it, and it was 15-year-olds recording a movie back then. Like,
Self-censorship.
yeah, it's like making a movie now on TikTok and getting some hits and sort of pushing that.
Yeah, like making your own porno movie, home movie kind of thing. No, that's a bad example.
But I mean, if you see something like this bad,
Yeah, so who
because we
cares?
didn't have any manners, we didn't have any. It was politically so off field against who we were, what we stood for later. It was just like kill. Like it was just horrible. But now I realize I can't hide it anymore because it's been being released on.
Everybody loves you for it.
Norwegian
back,
splatter amateur.
On Norwegian
DVD.
amateur splatter, found footage analog horror from Norway.
So now at
The next big
79,
thing.
I'm going to break through.
You don't have to burn churches anymore to be famous. Just throw a friend off a building. As long as it happened 30 years ago, past the statute
gonna
of
fall asleep.
limitations.
Okay, next.
Yeah. The next thing to talk about?
What animal?
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, well.
Our favorite is squirrel, definitely. Here.
Yeah, the squirrels. There's a lot to be learned. From,
What is the most,
squirrels
like,
when they're nuts?
animal
you know what
that
my
gives-
totem animal was? You're going to have an opinion about this.
Totem?
Morten. Totem animal, my spirit guide animal.
That's
I went through a trance
too
to
deep
find
for
out.
me. To a trance.
Yeah, to find out my, and then it's supposed to come up from your subconscious.
You went to a transsexual for that?
No, I don't think so. But there wasn't any in the trance either. But I kind of ended up in that direction. Yeah, my totem animal was
Like
the glam rocker of nature.
Yeah.
A mandrill.
This sounds like a gay
mandrill.
porn movie I was in. one time.
Yeah.
That's a monkey.
Yeah.
Have you seen mandrill? You know how it
it's,
looks like?
A mandrill, that sounds like either a...
Yeah, I know.
Bee
It sounds very boring.
No, it does not.
No, bore.
It
Never mind.
sounds like the kind of movie I
Is
was
this one?
wanting
Yeah, it's the
It's not the mandrill.
it's the cross dressers of the animal kingdom. It's
Beautiful.
It's, yeah, this, it
and
looks,
the
looks
thing
like
is,
Barbara Streisand. It's sort of
you'd see
fantastic.
that any lion
Beautiful.
would see them 10 miles away on the savannah. And if they turn around, their asses are just as colourful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Red one.
That is
Yeah, no, it's-
red
no.
wine?
Yeah, it's red. Their ass is red.
Yeah.
Red.
Well, blue. But
Blue-
that's probably
blue and red.
It gets blue after a pounding, probably. I don't know.
But-
But yeah. So
This is their ass.
no, but if you, it's interesting to enough of that. Yeah, and so you moved to America. You were Mrs. Hippie Boy.
We can skip that part because I was just...
I got distracted.
All the colors. All the colors.
Yeah.
That's me in Mississippi. I think.
That's too many for the spectrum.
But after Mississippi, after all that, where we're sort of like dragging this into is sort of my strength as not a drag DJ as I was for many years, DJ Hormore, but that was not me being drag. It was just I had a friend who was excellent at makeup, so she made me into this character. I was for a couple of hours, and then I couldn't hold my makeup because I couldn't like.
I sweat.
Yeah, I looked so good with that makeup. She was excellent. She didn't do drag. She did like herself. She was beautiful.
Right.
She actually made me that. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And I went out like that and thought it was fun to play. And then I didn't realize that I was sweating and like, and sort of when I came out of that, I mean, that was another story.
Yeah, it's like
but anyways,
clown
like,
under too much lights, just.
I
I mean,
all
the
got our
bastard
bad
stuff. I cover myself in more body paint than killed the girl in Goldfinger.
Yeah, but you were in blood as well. You were sort of.
Yeah, but I even
hardcore.
sweated off. But
in
it was
another
sweating
way.
off the blood. You couldn't tell what was paint and what was
I would
blood.
faint if I saw that blood.
So
yeah, we were weak that way, but we have our.
we all have our eccentricities.
Yeah, and I was like
He's waiting for me.
Yeah, but I was. What do you want,
wait.
Simon? You wanted to talk me into RadiOrakel.
Oh right, RadiOrakel. Yes,
That was why I was called while I was here.
Yeah,
I was a little bit like, am I not here because I'm fucking cult star?
You're
it's
the hostess with the mostest, of course.
Because you've been so long at RadiOrakel. You're the only guy who's been there for
guest is the only place that will have
years.
me. Yeah, I was lost in the wilderness, and then you found me and you brought me up out of the fight.
What do you want to know?
Yeah,
about RadiOrakel?
Well, they say Britannia ruled the seas.
Okay.
They ruled the waves.
But what is your question
But who
about?
rules the hairwaves? RadiOrakel. That's the eldest feminine radio station and stuff in the universe, apparently. And so, what's it like working there? And you've been there for quite a while. I was surprised I was allowed in.
I'm surprised I've been allowed out. Actually, I've been hidden up there. No, it's been the only like regular thing I've been doing for so long. I mean, it's 25 years.
Bloody hell! How many podcasts have we done? I mean, that is continuity.
One day a week. And when you do as much shit as I do, you need some red thread, or like going like you do this, you do that, but you do RadiOrakel one day a week.
Yeah.
And it started as me going to we had it on Saturdays, my program, which I got because nobody else wanted the spot. It was Saturdays from 12 to 1 in the daytime.
Yeah.
So it's like after Friday, And of course, I hadn't gone to sleep.
You had to stay up all night, exactly.
I always thought, okay, it's fine, because then I could go straight from the Norseman to
get more out the
radio.
Weekend. It says
I could just bring people, with me.
Yeah.
From that Nachspiel, or
bring them on as guests.
Yeah, bring some artists.
Yeah.
Because they were like people that were not.
Every Nachspiel was like a tax write-off because it was part of your research.
Up. You don't say, come and test some mushrooms at the... Because they were not famous in that way.
No.
And people were not that uptight about like, okay, so then we take a mushroom. So what?
Yeah, we were
it's not like we're shooting heroin.
on the frontiers of the psychosphere.
Yeah.
We were...
And there is a difference.
Got to a new transcendence.
It's like porn. There is a difference between, like
porn and erotic art.
100 animals having sex with a man or a girl, or a man and.
I mean, David Attenborough's never
It's
been
different.
accused of being a porn procurer.
I thought it was a man. Okay.
So if you see it on Animal Planet, it's not the same.
Are we talking about animals again?
Yeah, we're talking about the difference between a bunch of animals having sex and a bunch of humans having sex.
No.
We weren't.
Okay, let's go back to the first feminist radio show.
Oh yeah,
So you were
Without
saying-
having
we got distracted.
to deal with sex.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with that at all. Yeah.
No,
Enough of your
but-
prejudice.
So that was your weekly occurring.
Yeah, and I knew the rules at the time. We didn't touch, like we were very political, yes. But I said I'm not political at all. Please just let me. Yeah, you can be like
Let me have fun.
the male
Right.
clown, our male clown. Because I was so intersexual or whatever. I was looking like whatever. And then I had this hour, and I was very, of course, I was serious, dedicated to putting out the music I liked and loved,
It's
because
your passion, yeah.
I couldn't really play any instruments, but I loved music. Oh, and not all kinds of music, but all types of music, but specifically like I like that band, I like that within different
Genres.
not only house and tech. That was just party,
Yeah.
dancing, but yeah. I was a really, really, really nerd when it came to music. Followed my bands.
You still are, though. You know, you've got like
In a
an
way.
encyclopedia of knowledge in many musical genres. For
I was so patient with some bands that I should have given up really early. I give them one more chance. I buy their album and I go through it with a cassette Walkman, and you just like, okay, I cannot press fast forward because I do not have the batteries, but if I flip the tape now, it will go exactly on the good song on the other side.
Yeah. Or just wind it forward with a pencil. That's how we did it in the Clockwork Universe days. Yeah.
So cassettes,
Steam
Walkmans,
age. Yeah.
horrible, but
Yeah.
I love that I was through it because it made me so fucking patient.
I have noticed you've been very patient.
Horrible with
me.
time. That's right. But I'm patient.
Yeah, you are. You got more patience than Dr. Mengele.
I don't even know who's that. Who is that?
Dr. Mengele, the experimental doctor.
What kind of animal?
Medical breakthroughs in Auschwitz, mainly.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to sort of
Poor
block
taste.
out things I don't like.
Yeah.
They're not famous in my brain.
Yeah, I seem to attract them and absorb them, but that's why you're the positive one.
Yeah,
so I hate to be
definitely.
negative, but no.
Yeah.
So, and then, so the radio thing, you've had in your heyday, you didn't have to have people like me on. You've had so many different guests on, and all types of guests.
All
haven't you?
kinds. Yeah, of course.
And getting to that's kind of one of the main reasons why we wanted to start a podcast as well. I was just wanted to meet interesting people and talk about things that can also be enlightening, motivating, stimulating, all that kind of stuff.
With animals.
Consensual. We're going to try and get the first podcast with a sex bot on if we can get sponsored.
What is a sex bot?
That's the Terminators that are going to take over. They're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm afraid, Morten. It's going to be these sex bot things.
You're not afraid, but he's just a funny guy.
Yeah, he has a sense of humour, doesn't he?
He is. He can laugh about being the governor in California, and it's like,
Yeah,
it's
you can
California.
laugh about that. You can laugh about anything. So,
Yeah. He's all right.
But have you got any like celebrity anecdotes that
From
radio or because the radio thing, it seems to me that it sort of opens some doors for you as well.
To meet, as you say, interesting people.
Yeah.
And some have not been maybe in the studio, but I've interviewed them somewhere else in the world. Not never planning it. Those times have gone wrong. It's like I plan an interview, I go somewhere, and now I'm going to do the interview, and well, I do it maybe usually, but then it's just not that cool. But the coolest have just been like, Oh, so the Lou Reed, hey.
I need a jingle for the radio, Mr. Reed.
I don't even know where that interview is, because that's something that I had before
right
my program.
Oh, so there's a lot of stuff, of course, that you probably wiped off or just lost.
Well, this is like the late 90s, I think. Like, some of those really, but those weren't planned as interviews, but they were just, it was kind of hard because you have some artists, like, especially that kind of Lou Reed or maybe Iggy Pop.
Huge. Yeah.
Because I wasn't
Iggy Pop.
No, but I wasn't a big fan myself. I mean, I was a fan, but I wasn't like, that was not the bands I followed.
Yeah. So Mr. Pop.
The closest I got to like legends in that sense, I always like loved Kim Gordon and Sonic Youth.
Yeah.
But they were never as big as.
Well, they were big within the underground, but alternative music vibe and that.
Lou Reed, I didn't really know. I didn't know back then that he was the same. Because I adored Andy Warhol and The Factory and Velvet Underground, which of course he was very much part of. So I didn't even ask him. My interview with him was just like babbling and having fun.
Yeah,
and people were like shocked that. Have you interviewed him? And then they heard the interview. It was just. It sounded like I didn't know almost who he was, that he was just a cool musician. And I was not afraid of that either. And I don't even remember if it was Iggy Pop or Lou Reed.
Yeah, but it was a walk on the wild side.
It was definitely me knowing that this is some kind of genius.
Yeah.
But now we're partying. Shots. Now it's Noshpit. Now we have fun.
You can afford this penthouse suite. so this is
all the questions I could have asked, like, the Velvet Underground, or blah blah blah. But maybe that was good because I probably just sounded some kind of cocky,
pretentious. You were just natural. You were just having a cool chat conversation.
I was so out of it, and I was good because I was so vain. Like if I would be not, I would be sitting like the. Hi, Lou. I would have been such a poser. I was so glad I don't have my beauty in that sense anymore because sort of like, let that beautiful new generation just because they handle their beauty so well.
I feel no threat from anybody under 30. I
partied the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
But that was my fun, you know? And I had met so many people, and I still do. You just have to find, developing the way you see things, the way you party, the way you everything, sort of just make it right for your surroundings. And then you'll keep on meeting people. You keep on doing this and that, but develops. It's kind of like interesting as well.
Aren't we lucky that kind of we're probably the first generation that never grew up in a way, perpetual Peter Pans, and so that we're not the age thing isn't as important as it was before. I mean,
probably because
back in Victorian times, I'd be wearing a bowler hat and I'd have a pipe and a handlebar moustache, and then I'd be saying, "Yes, boy." So,
age is important because we are all now, in a way. We are.
We're all immature, so puerile. Infantile, but
so
it doesn't matter as much.
For me, it's not, and it took me some courage to let that go.
Yeah,
probably somewhere in my 40s.
I know loads of young people less childish than I am.
But you're so responsible. You're a father. You're sort of like
I'm a granddaddy. Granddaddy. That gave me a totally fresh perspective. I thought, bloody hell, third generation now, blimey, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna learn your game.
Oh yeah. Oh, it really brought out my softer side. You know.
Talk about radio. What about Outstriders? I'm seeing that. What is the name? What? Because I can only speak Mississippi in America, and that's nobody wants to hear.
Boy. Yeah, you ain't from around here, stranger.
You're not
gonna squeal like a pig, boy. Gonna squeal like a pig.
You're not a rider.
Yeah. Well,
what is Outsider?
Yeah, well, Outstriders is someone taking one step further. For example, getting all your friends to make up and start the Norwegian Splatter-punk genre.
Yeah.
That is one step beyond.
It sounds like a clever movie I could have been in, but it's too clever for me.
Yeah, it's kind of too clever for me, but it is one of my neologisms.
No, but you're clever.
Oh, thank you for saying so, mate.
You were clever as well, but I know Simon. I know you.
Well, he has to be clever to be around
Norwegian, me. This Norwegian politeness.
Of course, he's the new generation, so he's born clever.
I taught him all I knew.
Outstriders.
Yeah, just go on. We all clever. You're clever too.
Yeah, and you're also one of the first things I noticed. I mean, thought it was a trap because you were so nice.
A trap?
The first time I was on your radio show,
you
were just really nice.
But I am trying to be nice.
Yeah, you were warm and genuine and just really friendly and that. And I was going, wait a minute, I'm not used to this. So
why do people react on that? I'm like, people
it's
are.
Me. It's
no,
not
but
you,
no.
It's me.
But several people have said that to me in
right.
come after. But it was so nice, and I said, yeah, but what did you think? Now that you were going to ask us like critic
I was there
questions.
ready to be as like an interrogation. We have ways and means of making you sprechen.
Criticism is so boring.
Yeah, I'm sort of
I think it's boring,
counter-critic.
But it's not critical. It's like, but.
No, not critical yet, mate.
It is interesting, though, to have news and stuff with critical thinking.
Yeah,
but for me to serve that to the people is not right.
No, they would get critical conditions.
Let me serve music. Let me show like off questions that is like, oh wow, nice question. Is that a question? No, I just wanted to say you're nice because I don't invite people I don't think are nice into my studio.
There's no bastard,
pooping people, like just like nasty people. It's like, why would I have them in my studio?
Yeah, and to pollute the
atmosphere. Not give them any fame. Disrupt
the harmony of your inner sanctum.
Like that Dr. Kengele.
Dr. Mengele? Yeah.
People like that.
Yeah.
But still, you're a different person. You make critics. You have I've heard songs that bands and you have performed that are the right critical in the sense that they're open, but they're still very. And you are political. I think that's great.
Kicking upwards.
Yeah.
Like Madonna doing her highest kicks with her massive feet.
Yeah.
We're kicking the ceiling.
Where you're kicking.
Downwards.
Yeah,
just kick up, not down.
I don't have any leg control, so that's why I'm just sort of keeping them there. And
I could never do the splits either, but she could.
Left, right,
with those feet,
down.
She'd just throw her foot to one side and she'd go straight down in her splits immediately.
Are you still talking about that porn movie?
No, I'm talking about a big. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I am. Yeah, sorry about that. So anyway, any more interesting celebrity anecdotes?
Many, but do we want to hear them? It's just
okay. Where are you going to go from Lou Reed and Iggy Pop and that? But you've been in a bunch of. I was a bit curious to like your favourite cities because you've got a way of getting into the nightlife, checking out the stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of your superpowers, sort of figuring out what's going on and finding the coolest places and that. And so what city would you recommend for some young?
No. I cannot recommend it because
for some young freaks.
The good memories I have.
Yeah.
And it's been in New York, but I wouldn't recommend it now for young.
Right.
I don't know because the scene constantly changing.
Yeah, it is in flux.
And it's about how you feel, what time of life you're going through, the time of the city, the environment. Everything has to be right.
Yeah.
So New York wasn't like, I never thought it would be this like instant.
Yeah.
London in a certain way as well. Tokyo, but there I've only been twice. But the London and New York, it sounds boring in a way. That's now, I mean, people are not talking about those cities anymore.
Right.
For me, growing up alternatively, those were strangely enough cool places.
Yeah.
Alternatively.
Yeah, it's like when you, with time, when you go back and revisit things that have been like, you've had such great times, you find out Tinseltown is shit covered in sequins. So it's.
But you were talking about celebrities. I did have a very nice meeting
Name
there.
dropper.
Nice meeting with I'm the celebrity witch from RadiOrakel, talking about other female celebrities like Drew Barrymore, which isn't really like because I have this thing about getting to meet people I've adored, or sort of not as a crazy fan, but because of the job, and sort of trying to make a music video with them, or make a interview with them, you know, some kind of connection.
Yeah.
Not to be like, as you say, a crazy fan, but in a way,
Not a stalker.
No, no, because I've that's kind of serious.
That's
because
wrong.
I've seen stalkers. They've contacted me after I was working with Bananarama and Shakespeare's sister, Siobhan.
Look who's stalking.
They contacted me, and I thought, I'm not going to call myself a fan anymore, because this is a fan contacting amateur filmmaker,
Your greatest fan.
but several.
Yeah.
That contacted me from Canada, and a girl from somewhere else, asking me for if I had material that wasn't used in the videos, if they could buy it for like thousands of dollars. And then I realized, okay, who are you?
Yeah, it's like,
what?
Look, Taylor, I told you to stop calling me at this time of the evening.
But really polite, really polite. Of course, I did not do that, but still, it's sort of like how far people go.
Yeah.
And then I met like this Drew Barrymore, which I didn't have any connection to, but she was so nice. And the thing was that one of my favorite documentary movies of all times, and I think maybe RadiOrakel as well, is about two so powerful women. It's from the 70s, and it's called Grey Gardens.
Grey Gardens.
Yes.
Is that about aging women?
No, it's about everything else.
Okay, right. Sorry.
Wrong assumption.
Wrong assumption. Yeah, I drew Barrymore, but it was just a sketch.
So if you have never heard about this,
Grey
just
Gardens.
check it out.
No, right? Yeah,
it's a beautiful movie. And when I met Drew Barrymore, she was this huge star to me, but she was a star, and she came straight out. I came straight out of a dressing room, tried on. I had money at the time. And if I had money, I spent them. And it was some kind of expensive store. It was a tracksuit, like a racer, like original from Levi's, a whole suit.
Yeah, from Levi's.
And I never had muscles, so I didn't really feel it the way it should, like a race track driver.
Right. Oh,
Levi's,
one of those.
Limited edition.
Yeah, like
So
a Michael
out,
Schumacher before
I
the
didn't really
accident.
feel it out, and I felt a little stupid, and it was a big fancy store.
Yeah.
But then Drew Barrymore, she's like, with a dog, big dog, like, oh, that becomes you. She's
That
like the
becomes
mirror
you.
I meet when I go out and feel a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
And she's like totally, and with this natural, I mean, and I was like, this is Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
And then I got some water because nobody wanted to give her dog any water. And I was thinking, but she's a pretty big star. They don't give her water.
I know.
And I just fixed the dog some water.
Yeah.
And of course, they didn't mention her name, but she presumed, of course, maybe I knew.
Yeah.
Because she started talking about that she was making now a movie. And it was only, we talked for some minutes, sitting on the curb, the dog was getting the water.
Yeah.
and she was portraying. They were filming Grey Gardens, like a fiction movie of the documentary. So she was playing one of the women the documentary from 1974 is about.
Right.
And I was such a fan of that movie, and I was like, what? Because I had some kind of shirt or something saying Grey Gardens, and that's why she started to talk about, I'm actually filming.
Oh, there was a reference there. Yeah.
And exactly. So that's a magic moment.
Yeah.
So then it's sort of like what you call it, a celebrity moment without any.
Without any of that.
Any stars outshining each other.
Yeah, there you
like
go.
any sleazy underground stars from Norway.
Sit down, Prince. Oh, you are.
I can never compare to Drew, but she gave me a moment that was like, mwah.
Yeah.
That's sort of stars in the dirty air.
Yeah, but sort of in a natural way. Yeah. They are sheeple people. They as well. No, they have
even
feelings.
The dog.
So
Didn't you get that I was?
Yeah, befriended the bitch first.
I gave you celebrities and dog and animals.
Yeah, celebrities and animals. Yeah. So befriend the bitch, and then the star will become your friend.
I think that's what I can give today.
Yeah. So yeah.
But listen,
that's a beautiful thought.
That's
That is a beautiful thought. It's a really nice thought.
And I can give you one last
tip
of your beautiful logo, Outstriders. I like the name because it's a name I didn't really know. You explained.
Yeah.
You successfully avoid to explain.
Oh, no, one step beyond.
I was seeing in my corner of my Outriders and then like spiders. No,
you
not
got
spiders.
Outsliders, the pole dancing community. I think that's their own.
But you have an eagle
side there. No, that's
a
crow.
raven.
A raven, crow. Yeah, crow raven. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a budgie.
That's
a week
Odin's
before. We're on a
raven.
budget.
Yeah. You know your Nordic mythology?
I had
Odin has two ravens.
an artist. Did I tell you I was an artist?
Hugin and Muggin. Oh no, Munin.
Something like that.
Hugin and Munin.
I was.
Cato knows all of them.
Yeah.
In fact, now I'm going to tell you another celebrity story because I was working as an assistant, and in my age, this is like 5 years ago, but it was the opening of the National Museum, and my an artist I really look up to, and she was my teacher, only 10 years older than me, but still my teacher. And her, she was invited to be a part of the opening of the new National Museum. And she had a huge piece that we were working on. Because I was the first assistant, and it was a lot of work. It was mythology. It was the three
Crones.
Yggdrasil. It was the brønnen.
Oh, the well.
And the tree.
And the tree of life.
The
three maiden, or the maiden crone, and the one in the middle.
Yeah.
The MILF, the GILF, and the young one.
No, but we had the bird as well. We had all
the eyes of Odin.
All of it.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
I was so proud of it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It was bought in by the National Museum.
Oh.
So just to be a part of that, even though I was not the main artist, I was
just to participate. Yeah.
And but to work with her for that long period.
The whole process.
It was tough as hell.
Yeah.
But we got through it, and it was such a big piece.
Was it like painting or
no? It was an installation. So you could walk into it, and it was like the Norns.
The Norns. That's the weavers of fate.
Yeah, it's like the future and the now and the past.
Yeah.
You know, and they're the most powerful in Northern mythology. The three mothers,
Yeah.
like the three.
They create destiny
Yeah.
and fate, don't they? Yeah.
And
Yes, you have to still educate me about this.
The virgin, the MILF, and the GILF. But there's
so
cheap
much
way
to
of
say
saying
about
but-
this, so
oh,
I'll
there
get-
really is.
Yeah.
But you're still doing your artwork, and you've told me a bunch of different stuff you've been doing, and you're going to have some art exhibition coming up.
Yeah, I have two actually in near, like the kind of near future. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. I've been a part of group exhibitions for a while now. So I'm really looking forward to have some solo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there will be one solo and one with another artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if people are in Oslo come springtime, where's it going to be? No idea yet.
Your house.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be in some secret pop-up location.
No, but it will. It will. People who are interested, and they know.
Yeah, you hear
will,
that?
of course,
It's only for the elite. If you know, you know. If you don't, piss off. Yeah. If
It's
you
going
want
to
to
be
know.
in Oslo, I say. Yeah.
Be in Oslo. What would you recommend someone? Why come to Oslo, or if they come to Oslo and that, because you got like the regular touristy places, the children's sacrifice, demonic
kind of
worship,
tourist?
Park of Vigeland, and the opera house regular places. But
There's no dodgy places anymore.
no, it's quite relatively safe and clean. They
You go to
cleaned
the
up
saunas to get healthy, not to get fucked.
the most you get there is
Things-
probably COVID or
No, I would like to actually
Crabs.
visit some of the saunas because
Yeah.
they look really nice.
oh yeah, those ones down on the dock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them, the triangle one, I was DJing at Salt.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was had this costume on.
They got like sauna raves now.
No, but no. This was in this treehouse building.
Oh, yeah,
treehouse.
Yeah.
and I was out having a cigarette, and I'm the only one because I'm so old, so I smoke. And then I was standing there, so, I look pretty cool. And then I was taking some selfies, and I was like, one became like, it usually ends up being 10 because I need to have one good one.
Yeah.
So it's like too many to read. Yeah. Anyways, I was going back for taking this, and then I realized that it's a triangle behind the where I was blackened the windows. But
Right.
then when I go on the side, I can sort of see that there's full of people sitting there watching me in the
Oh,
sauna.
I hate that. Yeah, like an
I'm like
interrogation
having
room.
this.
Yeah, it's like that glass, that window behind you.
That's the story of my life.
Yeah, some bastard's been staring at me for the whole time, and I realise it's me. But
Did you talk about porn? I'm going to give you one more thing, and that's
Another
like
tip.
going to film school. As I said, as I promised you, all the worst things I put on camera. That was like, okay, this is a film school first year.
Yeah.
It was a course. It was not a school.
it's art, Medea.
Yeah, so I was pretty young, and I didn't deserve this. Okay.
Yeah.
But I did have a boyfriend, and of course we did a porn video, whatever. What we were supposed
Back
to
then it was
film.
brave.
We were supposed to film this really like making an entrance, like going through a door,
Oh, right.
shutting it. It's like making a statement of how you film that, and it's. I got I filmed my scene several times.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think I probably filmed it 20 times, and I decided to use the last take.
There'll be one more take, Mr. Kubrick.
And
Come
then
on.
we see the entrance, and then it goes straight into hard porn.
Yeah.
Like
So-
with
It's entrance,
Me, and,
exit.
I could just. I'm so blessed. No, I'm not blessed because I'm not Christian. But I'm so happy to have good taste because it looked good. But it was zooming. It was like a professional almost, like a porn of me and my boyfriend.
Yeah, nowadays
and it got straight. The whole class was just like, everyone was sort of
You
like,
showed it at school.
it was. Okay, this is old time. I thought you knew about old kind of video cams. You shot
sure.
things.
Yeah, I remember those.
And you could record over things.
Yeah,
and I recorded my school thing.
Oh, yeah.
Entrance.
The tape was so expensive.
I used the last. Yeah, because
The
I
last
used
reel.
an old tape.
Yes,
I didn't have any. So much, filmed everything.
Yeah.
So, porn.
If you're showing it's like if you're showing your holiday
what do you think
reels
happens?
back in the old days, suddenly there'd be a sort of a cut because you taped over some old stuff. There'd be some bit of thrusting.
I've just revealed this horrible thing, and then you're just going to talk it over.
No, sorry, I'm trying to save you, mate, because I'm thinking of the consequences.
This is like
no, but what happened in the class? I want to know what happened in the class.
What do you think?
They were gobsmacked.
They didn't say a fucking word.
Of course not.
And I just went slowly and had to stop. The everybody was just like, because it was quite good. It was an artsy, whatever. I didn't think
That's
about that.
an interesting angle, Dutch angle.
It's me trying to think, because nobody wanted to talk. I was like, everybody's just quiet. I was hoping, I think it would be better if somebody was like, fuck, what was that? Or something. Everybody just did not say. It's like, it did not happen.
Yeah.
And
they just repressed
I was
the memory.
back in class. I was like, had to slowly, nobody's stopping this.
Yeah.
I have to walk slowly front and just stop it. And just, what do you say?
Well, the thing is, our generation of freaks, we learned to be experts at embarrassing silences.
What do you say, Simon?
Embarrassing silences. We could sit there without saying anything and watch the tumbleweeds without saying a word. It's like speaking to a crowd of minorities on Martin Luther King Day and saying, "Cat lives matter, all 9 of them."
They do, because
They do, but there's time. There's
don't
a time
talk
and a
about
place.
cats around me.
There's a time and a place.
I start talking with my baby voice, and
The best things taken out of context can appear hideous and twisted and deformed and devolved.
Semen demon.
Yeah, semen's all over the place. So one last thought. We're living in an age where, especially poor Sebastian's generation, he's confronted by all these different images of what it means, what masculinity means. So I was a bit curious about a sort of a brief definition for our younger male viewers who are insecure incels and that.
But I don't think newer males do. They're more sure. The older males.
We need it more, don't we? Yeah.
Look at Trump. Look at a lot of older men in power positions needs to sort of like have a make through, like make, what do you call it, makeover.
Yeah. They need to be made up and
not
killed
by
down.
Not by like the Homo Patruljen, but by like just themselves. Maybe their closest, just like, hey, what can I contribute to this?
If you can't be made up, make it up.
Yeah. Make yourself vulnerable and all the. I mean, like. Yeah.
But Morten, you're like the avant-suave, and I'm like the avant-guarded.
Yeah.
I feel, in a weird way.
I think none of us have problems with that. This is secondary.
No,
like
I don't
what
care.
we do with our dicks is like, hey, it's not interesting. No.
No, that's not the whole truth. No. So, but so that's enough.
That's a masculinity.
Yeah, that's masculinity done. Yeah. And is there anything you want to mention, or you want to anything? This is like free speech time and that sort of, and that. Or have we given them enough?
I hope so, because I really need a cigarette.
Oh, you do, don't you?
I am the oldest one here.
I mean, casting. No, where's our resource management here? How impolite.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Morten needs a cig, and I think
I just revealed all these horrible things.
no, but it's like a badge of courage nowadays. Now you are the freak. What's he doing? What's he sticking in his mouth? Oh, he's on fire! Quick, put him out. That's carcinogenic.
Well, that's how it is.
That's how we roll back in the day.
I cannot even think now because I really need it.
You do, yeah. I see you have nicotine depletion.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. So
What do you
enough
think
of
about
this
that?
podcast bullshit, mate. Let's chill. And thank you for
Le freak, le chic.
You're a chic freak, mate. You are indeed.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and so thanks for coming on and giving us a lot more than we thought to think about.
You have to really think
Perhaps
about that.
At the age of too much information. Oh, no,
Even
but,
for you, Simon, too much information. I can see your head now. It's like thinking.
I'm going off on a tangent now. Yeah, I've
Think
got to write
different.
a poem.
Yeah. If you think a lot, think different.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
over. Yeah,
Whatever
cheers,
you
mate.
think,
Thanks,
just
Joe.
write down in the
Thanks
comments. And see you next time.
Yeah, and if you want to write without thinking, then do that too.
Try to be nice.
Mindfulness.